Okay. Hopefully I'm loud and clear. I look good. All right. Yeah. All right. Got more video game stuff I want to talk about in the limited hangout, which means I'm hanging out with the chat today. So, chat, as y'all get in here, be vocal. Let's talk. You know, let's have a good time. Cause yeah, everybody just give me a second. All right. All right. Yeah. Six Slayer. Hey, just when I was wondering where you've been. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yesterday I did a podcast as well, Six Slayer. And today doing a hangout. So, chat, be vocal. Six Slayer, thank you for joining, my dude. You know, uh, we could talk about whatever's on your mind. You know how this works as I talk about this main topic here. Um, because this news did surprise me in a good way. In a good way. Uh, just okay. That's that. All right. Yo, Shizno, what's up, man? What's up? Yeah, so yeah, whatever y'all if y'all have anything you want to bring up as well. But yeah, so I saw this today and this surprised me in a good way, right? Um excuse that. And that's Xbox has lowered the price of their games back from $80 to $70. And the reason why this surprised me is that I swear it feels like this feels rare, right? When the price of something goes up, it's not often that it goes back down, right? And some people might say, "Hey, $70, that's still a lot." Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for yeah. It was a fire show yesterday. Especially when E-Rock and Zinc got into it and their force of debate. It was a great show. But yeah, man. Back to the topic at hand, right? All right. And based off this article here, it seems like this the standard now. Back to $70. Um, so Outer Worlds 2. By the way, what's really cool is that they said, hold on, let me see if I can find it. $80 games are starting to seem inevitable, but the upcoming RPG, the Outer Worlds 2, is showing that transition game high price games isn't as smooth as they hope, which is a good thing. Because look, at the end of the day, we're all gamers, but we're all consumers as well. And I'm in the camp that I want you to care more about your dollar than about the corporation. Because Microsoft and Xbox, they're going to be fine no matter what, right? But would you be fine if the standard price of games was $80? And stuff like this, it might even put more pressure on, say, well, not GTA 6, but something else that wants to release at $80. Students, I thought $80 was ridiculous. So happy to see them delay that for a while. Agreed, Shizno. And that I got on Nintendo about it, right? I got on Nintendo about it when they first announced it with some of their games. Um, because $70, man. I hate that. Because $70 is already a lot. 80 is just ridiculous, right? 80 is just ridiculous for the average consumer, you know. And I don't care how good things got. Paying $80 for a single video game, it's a tough sell. Hell, listen, as we've seen with the jump to $70 games, that's been games weren't being purchased like that either, and that's something that I've talked about for years now. How to jump to 70? Yeah. There are a lot of games that'll still do well numbers wise, but I guarantee that they're not selling the way that they did, at least full price initially. At 70, so at 80, that's going to be you had to even you we're going to get even less people buying $80 day one. More people who are waiting for the sale, and that's no good for everybody. So now Nintendo seems to be the only ones doing $80, right? As of now, yes, I believe so. I believe so. But again, that's one of the as of now things, right? And that's Nintendo for you, right? Nintendo, they're not budging. You're not gonna get Nintendo to budge off this one. Um, Yeah, so there's a part I'm looking for the part that I was reading how they're going to refund you if you pre-ordered at the full price. But yeah, by the way, I love Obsidian. They have great humor about this. I love this tweet they're here. Dear Galactic citizens, we have received your SOS via Skip Drone about the pricing. As an organization developed to making sure that corporations do not go unfettered, we at the Earth Directive have worked with Redacted to revise the price of the Outer World too. And I love Obsidian. You guys, I'm an Obsidian fanboy. I really am. I love everything they do. And I'm going to love the Outer Worlds. Right? I already know I'm going to love the Outer Worlds too. Because I love the first one. But Shizno said, yeah, I think the jump to 70 has hurt game sales a lot too. 80 would have been even worse. Yeah. And without question, without question. Look, there are a lot of people who be saying things like, damn, I paid $70 for this when a game doesn't hit right. And I feel like during the $60 days, it, and the 50 and hell, I'm old enough to remember when big games released at $50 back in the OG Xbox days, right? And what up, Batman Cape Crusader? And again, chat, be vocal today, everyone. We're gonna do a nice little hangout. What's up, Batman and Cape Crusader 91? Yo, as always, thanks for joining. And should not say, yeah, a lot of Obsidians are cool. Yeah, Obsidian are cool. If the Outer Worlds one was awesome, loved it. I'm sure two will be even better. Yeah, I think it'll be even better as well. I think so as well. Just know, but yeah, but I always get a kick of how easygoing they take things with stuff like this. Sometimes and the pricing stuff like that was out of Obsidian's hand. They even said that at the time. I think the price announcement was announced back in June or excuse me, early June, right after the showcase. And I remember them saying that, yeah, that's kind of out of our hands. So yeah, the price went back to 70. Let's hope it stays that way at least for it. Probably stay that way for the rest of the generation, right? Because well, we got what, two, maybe, and that's a huge maybe, 3 years left for this generation. To some, we'll probably be seeing the next gen console as early as next year. So up in the price now, it's probably just bad optics in general. And plus, they're probably, Microsoft probably looked at the numbers and thought, hey, this ain't working out, right? We could do $70. Um, so this is a good thing for us consumers, 100%. And and as always, and this is stuff like this is why whenever I hear people talking about Game Pass and blah blah blah, I don't I don't even listen to that because it's not the world is it's not on your shoulders as a gamer to be saving these companies. The companies got to release a product that people are willing to pay for and stuff like that, or whatever the case is. On or if you want to play the Game Pass, look, you're paying for Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? I don't see people saying, "Hey, man, um, you're killing the movie industry when you watch something on Netflix." And the case doesn't work here for video games either with Game Pass. Microsoft paid for them games. You paid for the service. You reap the benefits. And here with Xbox going back to $7 games, you reap the benefits of slightly cheaper games. And another, and in all these games also, they have fluctuating prices. They all got the ultimate editions and premium editions and gold editions, which add season passes and DLCs and stuff. And a lot of people pay for those as well. There are people right now who are paying what, $150 for the upcoming NBA 2K game, $150 for the highest end 2K game, and I think you get some VC and play the game a few days early, right? So people put their money where their mouth is all the time. People pay extra all the time. People be flooding. People be and a lot of these games are often the best selling games of the year. Well, I don't know if Madden has a gold edition, but well, what Madden has now? It has that bundle. It's like 100, almost $180 or some shit. That bundle with college football. you know, and people buy them up. So so people listen. As much as people bitch, they still bought Mario Kart. They're still buying that new Donkey Kong game. Even though this Mario Kart's not going to sell as much as Mario Kart 8 or whatever the last one was called in its lifetime, it's still going to do its numbers despite being $80. So when you get a situation like we're in now, where Microsoft is lowering the price permanently, at least for now, take it, take it, take it, and put your money when your mouth is. And but I will say this: I do wish gamers had you know were tougher on some of these other games like Madden, because Madden's been terrible for like a decade, maybe even longer. And that game doesn't seem like it's gonna get fixed anytime soon. But the point still stands. And again, guys, is to hang out. So be vocal if you have anything you want to add. Um, you know, say goodbye to games from now. Hope and it's kind, but this stuff like this do have you thinking. If one day things creep up to the point you get 80, 90, $100 games, what would that look like? Because that might work for GTA 6, which everybody and their mama still predicting is going to be of a higher price point, especially now that Nintendo opened the floodgates with their $80 games. Um, but I'll take this. Uh, people are nostalgic for the games were $60. Yo, what up, Coco Fiend? Thank you for joining as always, my dude. Remember, this is the unlimited hangout, so be vocal, chat. Be vocal. Yeah, yeah, but just got started a few minutes ago, Coco Fiend. So as always, thanks for joining, my dude. But back to the topic here. Yeah, $80. Uh, we're focused on bringing players incredible worlds to explore that will keep our full price holiday release is including the Outer Worlds at $69.99 and along with current market conditions. Boy, the term current market conditions is a popular corporate phrase right now. I've been seeing that a lot lately. Corporate market conditions. Current market. That's what the Ori devs said about potentially not releasing their game on Xbox yesterday. Which good luck with that. I don't get the strategy of making that stuff public. Saying, "Hey, we might skip the millions upon millions of people on this platform," and then especially now because we're in the days where exclusivity isn't doesn't hit like it used to. You know, all these. Listen, you look at the top best-selling games every year. Maybe one or two exclusives, maybe, but the rest are these big multi-plat games. So yeah, I don't get the strategy. Like when the console makers has first party exclusives, that I get. But when these third parties do it, unless you're getting paid to do it, I don't understand that strategy. But hey, we talked about that yesterday. I just think that the whole current marketing conditions is the new corporate phase of the year. Yeah, I also saw this version of the article that I thought was this snarky stuff right here. Nothing much, bro. We all hope as well. Yeah, man. I hope all is going well with you, Six Layer. I'm not even sure what's going on, but I hope you're doing good, brother. This snarky one. Good job, Internet. You bullied Microsoft out of $80 Xbox games. Let's do Nintendo and everybody else next. I got a bad news for you, Austin Woods. Nintendo ain't budging. All right, Nintendo is not like Xbox, like Microsoft. All right, Microsoft, they'll listen to you. No, they got Mike. I think of the big console makers, Microsoft probably got their ear closest to the ground, closer to the streets, if you will. And by that I mean that they're the ones who's probably usually most active in social media and probably have a whole crew that monitors the stuff. So they're often a lot more aware than Nintendo and Sony, who just do their thing, and if you don't fall in line, then screw you. So I'm letting you know now, Nintendo ain't getting bullied to know that to lower the price of their games, man. All right, that shit's just not happening. Good luck in trying, but you can't talk to them uh, the way that you do on Xbox. You know, so yeah, but let's see. Eternal Gamer said Obsidian knows bots won't buy $80 games. It keeps coming back to Xbox not being able to sell Game Pass subscribers to the same games that are on Game Pass, whether you admit it or not. That does change the fact. Eternal, I could always count on you to bitch and moan about game prices being lowered. Dude, you should be, dude. If this game's gonna be on PlayStation, so you should be happy that if you're interested that the game won't be $80 fucking. But as usual, you got to come in with this nonsense. Um, and L, you would you listen. You would have been saying the same shit if the games were $70, man. Xbox people buy games, contrary to what you might think. But hey, don't take my word for it. The best selling game on your platform this whole year has been an Xbox game. That's right. Your crew has bought Forza more than y'all bought Astrobot. So yeah, so the way I see it, good, good, good. Shit, if they knock that shit to $60, even better, right? Like you're not going to find me over here being like, oh man, let me find a way to spend this as a bad thing. No, I want to spend less on games. All right, that's what I want to do. I want to spend less on games, and I think everybody should. I think Expedition 33 should be the standard great AA game at an amazing price of $50. Yeah, yeah, and I think AA games are usually priced that way, right? I think AA games are usually priced at like that 40 $50 range, and that works for them. That works for them. Um, but I'm with you there, Coco Fane. $50 for Expedition 33, great price, absolutely great price. And a lot of them has been that amount as well. I know Grounded 2, which I think is technically in early access. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a $40 game when it releases next week. I think it comes out next week. Let's see. Yeah, it comes out next week. So yeah, next week when Grounded 2 comes out, I think that'll be $40. Again, it'll be early access, but still. Guitar Gamer said, "Bitch and moan. I buy games no matter what the cost. I buy deluxe and collector's editions anyway. I've been buying games over $80 for a while." And y- yes, man, yes, you come in here and bitch and moan again. This let me say this as somebody who does. I buy my collector's editions. I'll buy a deluxe edition for a game I like as well. That's not a bragging point, Eternal the Gamer. I know a lot of us physical owners, we like to sit on we like to sit on our thrones, show our disc, and rub it in people's face like, hey, look at my game collection, look how much I bought. But the truth of the matter is, um, nobody cares that we're such hyper fucking consumers like that. All right, the average person don't. It's not a bragging point. To man, yeah, I paid $100 for the Last of Us remaster or the remake for the third, fourth, and fifth time. That's not a bragging point to nobody. Matter of fact, it sounds fucking silly when you say it that. When you put it in the full context. So yeah, you buy deluxe editions, you buy collector's editions. So does your boy Unlimited. But you know what? The average person don't. And hell, even as somebody who do buy these $100 collector's editions and stuff from time to time, if I could get it for 90, I'd rather have it at 90. So that's the point I'm trying to make. This is what I don't understand about people who brag about this stuff, who keep bragging about how much we pay for these games. Don't you? Do you generally not want to pay less for something that you like? Don't you like the idea of maybe a good sell or having less, having more money in your pocket after investing in your hobby? Microsoft doesn't really. What don't they care about? Game sales or physical? Like, dude, everything's going digital, and so you know what I'm saying? And yeah, hell, listen, as a physical owner, I'm not a big fan of Microsoft just rushing so fast to. I don't even think the Outer Worlds is having a physical edition or something like that. Or I'm forgetting what they're doing off the top of my head. Where some of these games they just come with the code in the box. Not a fan of that. And I've talked about that before. And that hell, that's where the world has gone. Especially the Xbox gamers more than any other console platform. But hell, all these platforms they sell more digital than physical. All of them, and it's going to happen to you too, Eternal the Gamer. It's going. And I know you could say no, it's never going to happen when the. No, 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 it's going to happen. Just give it time. So enjoy collecting while it lasts. I'm letting you know that from now. Enjoy it while it lasts, my friend, because eventually all that shit's gonna be digital and it's gonna suck, man. It's gonna suck. My value price point should be no concern of yours. I don't mind paying more for the games I want if it's on sale. Cool, if not, cool. All because I'm still getting it. Look, man, I ain't telling you how to spend your money. That's not what I do. However, you come in here and say, "Look, man, uh, you come in here and have a negative spin on prices going lower," and then you know what I'm saying. So you come in here, you make a negative spin, and then all of a sudden you want us to be like, "Well, the Eternal Gamer, he spends all this, he'll pay for it. Maybe I should." That's not how people fucking work, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, my dude. Ren, what's up, Ren? The homie Ren said Microsoft is investing way more money in the Outer Worlds than Private Division did. One example is the radio stations are returning from Fallout New Vegas. Whoa, wow, really? So they're going to have copyright music in it. Matt, you know what? They probably said that back in the direct, and I just forgot. But yeah, definitely good point. And Ren, I guess that's why this is their big holiday game for this year, right? That and of course Call of Duty, Black Ops 7. And what's up, Black Mamba? Yeah, as again, guys, a limited hangout, so be vocal. Send all the comments you want. But back to Ren. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I just forgot. I just forgot. But yeah, they're definitely invested more. It seems like they invested a lot in these games that they're pushing out, and that's just the nature of the beast. We're in the era of 4K, 60 FPS, sometimes 120 frames, VRR, HDR, Dolby Vision. All this technical stuff, right? So natural, and then not only that, people want their games to run as great as the best they can. And hell, and we see it at the beginning of every generation. I didn't spend hundreds of dollars to play last generation tech, basically. So yeah, so them investing more is just a nature of the beast type of thing. Outer Worlds 1 was pretty clunky in combat. Avowed was better gameplay wise. Yeah, agreed, Rand. And I loved Outer Worlds 1. Absolutely loved it. But and the thing is, I even love the gameplay in it. But yeah, but you could tell. But with Outer Worlds 1, you could tell where because Obsidian wasn't getting that Microsoft money, right? So you could kind of tell with Outer Worlds 1, even if you play it now, and it runs beautifully. By the way, it runs beautifully on current consoles. Weirdly enough, I think there's actually two versions of anything. I think there are actually two versions of Outer Worlds 1, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, it's a good it's a great game. That's why I'm excited for the Outer Worlds 2 and see what improvements they way. I never say anything about price on level. You just created a narrative. My problem is Game Pass teaching its subs it's not by game and hurting game sales. This is also another fact. Yeah, Microsoft has said for years that Xbox subs buy and play more games, but that's irrelevant because no matter how much I say it, even if I've put it on screen a million times, you're not going to believe it. So I'm not going to argue that point with somebody who's never going to believe it anyway. And two, even if they aren't, I mean, they're paying for the subscription anyway, right? They're paying for it, and Microsoft pay for them games on Game Pass. So you're not going to bully someone into not using their service they're paying for. So get off your throne, eternal gamer, and understand that people play games different ways, and they're going to put their money towards games different ways, and this shit ain't hurting them like that, or else a lot of them wouldn't do it. Yeah, the story and characters carried out World War for me. You could tell Private Division brought that game down with the budget. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. I still loved it, man. I was hooked to that game. The next one, gamers why wonder why devs want to skip their platform. Yeah, like six fucking games, skip it, and even that means that shouldn't mean nothing to Xbox gamers because you get nothing because we get nothing but games all the fucking time anyway. Like, y'all ain't gonna play every fucking game that release. So if a game skip it, oh well. Shit's Games skip Nintendo literally all the time, and Nintendo fans are bitching. Games have skipped PlayStation before, and y'all aren't bitching. So I ain't gonna bitch when a game skips Xbox. Game Pass is just an option. Stop it. Yeah, he knows that, man. But you know that Eternal Gamer. Look, me and the Eternal, we just debating over here. I'm not gonna kick you out like I did yesterday, Eternal, because for me personally, you don't bother me. I don't mind chatting with you, but I know when the others, that could get on their nerves. But I ain't booting you today. That ain't gonna happen. That's not how I personally do things. But yeah, Game Pass again. Yeah, it's just an option. It's an option people like, and especially now because people, it's rough out there, and people just don't have money to spend, but they still need gaming. Games is a phenomenal hobby, but to many like myself, it's the best hobby out there. And I'm just not going to front somebody who, maybe money listen, money probably isn't as good as it is for Eternal the game, as it is for someone like me who buys everything. You know what I'm saying? Right? Um, hold on, guys. Who so if they need to rely on Game Pass to get their gaming in to play their Call of Duties, whatever, cool. Do what you got to do. That's why. Listen, that's why I don't get this whole trying to shame gamers into buying $80 games and $70 games. Sometimes you just don't have it, man. And I'm just not gonna get mad at them. Hell, how about game developers put out games that people want to buy if that's the case? With Game Pass, Xbox buys copies up front from developers. Speaking for myself, I almost always buy the early access DLC. Yeah, look, there are a lot of games, Ren, that I've bought that's on Game Pass anyway. You know what I'm saying? And hell, there are games that I played on Game Pass that I later bought. And Eternal the Gamer might not believe this, but people who subscribe to Game Pass do that all the time as well. Well, they'll play a game on Game Pass, love it, then buy it to own it, or however digital ownership works if they bought it digitally. Like games like Children of Morta. Children of Morta was this awesome kind of top down style game. What can I compare it to? Not I don't think it wasn't like not Diablo style completely, but it's had this really awesome art style, and I loved it so much that I bought the game outright, right? And I originally played it on Game Pass, so that's an example there. Long live the Black Mama said, like I told you yesterday, more and more companies are leaning towards engagement in players, not sales. Yeah, that's right, that's right. And Sony said that shit years ago too. Sony said that years ago about how engagement is the path to success for them. LOL, I'm guessing Blockbuster was encouraging the same thing. Well, you know what? Funny enough, Coco Fiend, there's a time Nintendo actually didn't want their games to be rented because they thought that, but that ended up being nonsense towards Nintendo as well, just like how it'll be overall nonsense now. PlayStation gamers, time and time again, are proven to not buy games. Where's your excuse now? Yeah, and look, yeah, and I know Tone's gonna be like, well, I buy games, fair, but people aren't buying games to the extent that they used to in general, and a lot of that is the price of these games. $70 and $80 is a lot to ask for a lot of people. There's still a group of people saying they'll boycott Black Myth, Wukong, and No Rest for the Wicked. because the dev sees bots don't buy games and Xbox can't sell consoles to save the world. Um, yeah, yeah. Listen, when stuff like that is such a small scale, actually, Eternal, that it's not a real impact. That's so like you most likely saw that on social media or YouTube video, and I'm letting you know for now it's a extremely small scale. A lot of gamers aren't really in as deep into the roots of this stuff of the gaming industry and gaming community to the extent that we are, where we follow this stuff. We have these really emotional reactions to things we like or don't like. Um, yeah, so a lot of them they just for a lot of people, hell, if you look at game sales, most people just buying their favorite shit over and over, right? A lot of people are still playing Fortnite these last God, I must be 8 years now. A lot of people are still buying their annual Maddens. A lot of people are still buying their annual Call of Duties and Assassin's Creeds and almost nothing else. You know, you remember during the hearings to Microsoft when they're getting Activision, how Sony was saying, "Look, we got a large number of gamers who buy Call of Duty and fucking nothing else. That's it." Then you said earlier you don't mind paying for games. The mentality enables companies to be okay with raising prices, and that's why people buy less games. Yeah, and the thing about that Black Mamba is that there's with these with all these hobbies, there's always going to be people who just pay out the ass for everything, right? They'll I think they're called whales or something like that. Whales. I'm not saying Eternal the Gamers is such a well. I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy, but in everything, you look at shit, even shit, some random shit like Pokemon cards. There are people who are spending hundreds, maybe even thousands on a fucking Charizard, holographic Charizard and shit, right? Meanwhile, the average person who invests in games, they don't want to do. They don't. People do not want to fucking buy. Um, aren't trying to spend out their ass for the ultimate edition of these games. They just aren't. Outside of casual games sell less this generation than they did last. And that's because of the price. This mentality that sells mean everything, and you have to buy everything's got to stop. Yeah, and it's not practical. It's not practical for the average person. Look, when you got rent, mortgage, bills, food, and every other responsibility, obviously for most people, it's gaming's not the priority, and it only become and really once and so people like me or Eternal who has the disposable income to invest like that, you know then we're really, but we're kind of in that minority and stuff like that. Most people just it's just not a thing to that extent. Doesn't concern me. See, I told you he don't games come to my platform of choice, which is PlayStation. So why are you speaking about only matters that Xbox gamers and welfare? I mean Game Pass. Yeah, you see what I mean? Listen, once you deal with PlayStation guys long enough, you already know what they're going to say before they say it. Long live the black gamer. So nothing Eternal just said there. Nothing he said there surprised me. I expected that comment there. Using Black Myth and No Rest, two games that skip Xbox without gamers doing anything, is a bad argument. Yeah, and then Black Myth is coming to Xbox anyway in next month. And that's that's what kills me about that stuff, right? The game comes out to Xbox anyway, so and look, I played Black Myth. I actually played it on the PC version. That game, it looks good, but it's just another Souls like, a slightly faster Souls like. So it ain't nothing special, man. Hey, Tuck. Um, yeah, hold on. Yeah, Tuck. This is just a hangout, man. So I'm kind of just interacting with the chat for a little bit. So my apologies there, Tuck Master. Two games, haha. There's a lot more. I just don't want to be that guy and name them all. Yeah, yeah. Listen, if games skip Xbox, that's on them. All right, do what you want to do. Like I said, Eternal Gamer. Game. Do you know how many games skip Nintendo? And Nintendo fans do not give a shit. And I don't give a shit either if a game skip Xbox, because I got a backlog of games that I'm probably never going to catch up with unless I'm like fully retired and actually have all literally all day, every day to play something. And even then, some of these games are so long. Realistically, I'm probably not going to beat a number of them. The people boycotting Black Myth are because they lied. They said it was going to be on Xbox and took 1 year. Then he had a deal and said it was the Series S fault. I remember all that. I remember all that. But even then, Ren, it's going to be a small number of people. Truth is, if you want to play Black Myth Wukong last year, you probably already did, whether it was PC or PlayStation. So the Xbox guys, who probably only play on Xbox and probably had their eye set on it, they're probably going to be the only ones that are just going to jump on it like that day one. I'm not. Square Enix literally just came around to wanting to see if bots will buy games. And believe me, if Square Enix sees the actual numbers, I believe they'll go back to Sony and Nintendo mainly. Nah. Well, Square Enix and Xbox, they're good. Eternal, they're good. They're still going to keep releasing all their games on, and whatever games. We're still going to see releases of the older games that was probably on Nintendo first. Because wasn't games like Octopath Traveler on Nintendo first before it went everywhere else? Hell, I think Octopath Traveler went to Xbox before it went to PlayStation. So Square and Xbox, they good, man. Yeah, they lost all credibility with that last comment. Ain't no point in continue this. Yeah. So, sometimes they just argue just to argue, but and I got no beef with Eternal the Gamer. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers is out on Game Pass now. Why? Yes, it is, my friend. They skipped Xbox last generation without any number. You expect people to just go back to a company that slided them an entire generation? It matters how much they care about those games, but yeah. Sometimes stuff like that happens too, and that is that's almost the gift and the curse of time exclusives like that, where you could train your audience in expecting game to be on what platform. So once it finally comes to the other, it's usually been so long that it didn't sell to that extent or whatever. And that's another thing. With time exclusives, they're never going to sell as much as the initial release, Or if it does, it's extremely rare that happens. And the reason that is because for most people, if you want to play it, these games are pretty accessible. You know what I'm saying? So in most cases, if you want to play it, you probably would have by now. Yeah, and games skip Xbox Gamer all last generation. You do know that. Yeah, there are games that skipped it. And Eternal, a lot of them just ended up on Xbox anyway. All right, and so what I tell people is like, look, man, if your platform don't get the game, just play something else. And if it gets here when it does, and that's your main platform, that's all that you got money for. You don't have other consoles like some of us do. You'll be fine. You really would, because I honestly, there hasn't been a single game that eventually came to Xbox that I just felt like, wow, I can't believe I missed out on this. It's the greatest thing I ever played. That's never happened. Even some of the games that I've eventually played, whether it's when I got my PlayStation or through PC or something, there, and even the ones I liked, I'm like, yo, this is fire. Like Gravity Rush 1 and 2, brilliant games, man. And I wish that series would continue, right? I love Gravity Rush 1 and 2. But that it wasn't so good that I was like, damn, I really wish I paid $500 to get a PlayStation 5 sooner to play this. It was more like, you know what? I got a PlayStation now. Let me try out some games that's not on Xbox. Oh, Gravity Rush 1 and 2, this looks fun. Oh, shit, it is fun. Yo, that's a dope game right there. That's a great game right there. And boom. Now I got one of my favorite PlayStation games that I could jump into from time to time. This is why I blocked him long ago. Yeah, and the reason why I don't block Eternal personally. I mean, I block him when if we're in the chat. I got a panel say, man, get him out of here, because I'm gonna respect my bros before a PlayStation dude. But me personally, I got no issue with Eternal, man. I don't care that he's a PlayStation guy. Listen, I welcome all games. If you like PlayStation and Nintendo and PC, be my guest. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that I always drew the line on was when you like start insulting people. That and eternally he don't come in here insulting people. So he gonna be a PlayStation fan. He gonna be a PlayStation fan. It is what it is, man. Proof it wasn't all about sales. Yeah, yeah. Where can let's see. Where is it? Where is it? I think this is it. Yeah, I mean, because look, Sony's focus on engagement time over units sold makes sense for PlayStation. So this is something that even Sony has said for a while. And it's why it's not the end all be all. You didn't block me. Try again. Maybe you didn't do it correctly. Block him on, I guess, on his channel or something. I don't fucking know. Final Fantasy 16 was a top 5 game sold on Xbox when it released. Do some homework. Yeah, I don't be looking at game sales like that, so I actually legit do need to do my homework on something like that. I legit need to. Still ain't have no answer to PlayStation fans don't buy games. Sony said it, Square Enix said it, and more. Y'all blame Xbox fans for games not selling when they don't put games on Xbox. Yeah, yeah. I mean, his thing is that he buys his own games and this, and that. Yeah, and look, where this is the funny thing about having. Yeah, so apparently, according to this graph, Forza Horizon 5 and now sold more copies on PlayStation than last year's Game of the Year, which is kind of wild, right? Because, so apparently Astrobot has sold less than 3 million, and Forza is now at 3 million. So yeah, so even if the Game of the Year can't sell like that, I really don't want to hear anything else, man. Final Fantasy 16 literally had to be sold at a lower price. No, 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 Eternal Gamer. That game is full price on the Xbox store. It only recently went on sale for their summer sale. No, 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 my friend. Listen, you're talking to people who play on Xbox all the time. The game is literally released at $70 and was selling pretty well at that price and only had a price decrease for the summer sale. Come on now. Let's not do this, my dude. Right. It had to be sold at a lower price for it to sell, and not the fact that the game is 2 years old and is a lower price on PlayStation now, too. Yeah, again, the game released at full price when it released a month ago. And it's only on sale now. Well, again, also it's on sale because it is an older game, and it's on the summer sale. I mean, come on. And some laughing emojis. Yeah, man. Time for Wu Chang. Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it, Shiznone. Let me know how you like it. Let me know how you like Wu Chang. Yeah, I listen. I'm just trying to have a chat with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So according to this graph, Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation 5 is outselling big first party PlayStation 5 games. Oh, and Death Stranding 2. But Death Stranding 2 did just come out, so. And I don't even like the first Death Stranding. Final Fantasy 16 released at a lower price, launched at a lower price than on PlayStation. No, it was $70 on it was $70 on the Xbox store. Yeah, I think it was $70, and then there's the deluxe edition that was either $80 or $90. But I think it is on sale now though. That homework comment wasn't directed at you. Oh well, still, I need to get up on my facts as well. I need to get up on my shit too, Shizna. But yeah, so it's like y'all didn't even Eternal, you and your group, and I know you personally bought it and blah blah blah, but the PlayStation fans, they didn't buy Astrobot, and that's the supposed game of the year. Like of the how many PlayStations do they say is out there now? Like 67 million, 70 million, some shit. And only 2.5 million bought that shit to the point where of the what is it, almost 50 million people who played Forza, only 3 million bought that motherfucker on PlayStation. Xbox could not produce a game of the year. They are capable of it. Eternal. Now, nobody gives a fuck about game of the year. All right. Yeah, that's like the most irrelevant bragging point. I can't even give energy to even say more. That's how little I fucking give it game of the year. Hey, let's have Jeff Keighley tell us what games we must like. Get the like you talk. Listen, Eternal, my dude. You talking to the wrong person about game of the year shit. Because I don't. I listen. I don't even watch the shit, man. Like you know what I'm saying? Even if something else gave an Xbox game gave it a year, I don't give a fuck. That's like telling me who won what artist won Grammy of the year or something. What album won Grammy of the year? What movie won it? You know what I'm saying? Won the Oscar. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. So okay. I'm thank you for correcting. My apologies there. It seems like I was wrong. I thought it was $70, but it seemed like the complete edition was 70, and that's what threw me off. Okay, so let me correct myself. According to Shizno Elite, Final Fantasy 16 was $50 and the complete edition was 70. I thought it was the other way around, where complete edition was I mean the standard edition was 70 and the complete edition was like $8 or something. But so thank you for correcting me. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, and I was wrong on that. So my apologies there, chat. Years old. What are you getting at? What are you not getting? Yeah. Astrobot won more awards. Don't care. I'm not going to give attention to these Game Awards talk. That's like asking me, hey, what did you eat for breakfast today? Who gives a shit, right? What does Game of the Year have to do with anything? It's a popular talking point for PlayStation fans. They and see, if Eternal Gamer was on the right Xbox podcast, that might actually trigger some Xbox guys. So one thing got to know about the Xbox community, Black Mamba, there are a number of them who loves who I'm sorry, there are another one who wants the same love that that PlayStation Nintendo gets. When to me, for someone like me, I just play my games and enjoy them, because I've played a lot of games that have been loved that I didn't click with. I'm not a big Souls-like fan, for example. So when Elden Ring won Game of the Year, that didn't mean nothing to me. I don't enjoy those type of games. So it's not going to convince me to all of a sudden give it a try. You know what I'm saying? And same thing when the PlayStation Nintendo game wins a Game of the Year, I don't give a shit, because I already don't like Mario. So if Mario wins Game of the Year, what does that mean to me? That I'm going to spend 60, 70, $80 on a Mario game I'm gonna play for 5 minutes, realize, oh shit, that's right, I don't actually like Mario, then never play it again. That's a waste of time and money. And that's the same thing when these PlayStation games win Game of the Year. Oh, The Last of Us won Game of the Year. I'm never going to play that game in my life, right? So if it wins it, I'll just be wasting money on 5 minutes of hype on a Game Awards show I don't even really watch. Who decides Game of the Year? A bunch of biased ponies. Yeah, I don't know how it's decided, and I don't even care. Y'all know Game of the Year is literally ran by a PlayStation fan. Yeah. The year that Death Stranding came out, the first one, and Jeff Keighley's literally put in the game and it's Game of the Year. And that game sucks, by the way. Death Stranding 1 is horrible, right? Then that's one that always gets me laughing. All those awards Astrobots won and it still didn't sell. Yeah. So all the praise and accolades and Forza still outsold it, man. Only ignorant PlayStation fanboys using Jeff Keighley Game of the Year towards PlayStation. It's a talking point, man. It's a bragging rights for them. And then they also know that it does it legit. I do think it triggers certain Xbox fans. They're probably pony box by now, who definitely want Xbox to get the same love that IGN be giving to all this bullshit, not realizing that, guys, it's just video games. It's just a hobby at the end of the day, right? It's a hobby that we're all going to enjoy, and we all like different types of games, different styles of games, different consoles, different platforms, and so on. But some people are so tribalistic with this stuff. Mr. Kima, that it's almost their personality. It's almost their whole personality and they legit like Eternal Gamer might think that he's striking a nerve when he talks about, oh, but we have actual game of the year. And it might to some, but to me it's like, okay, enjoy it. Listen, if it's such a great game of the year, why is it being outsold by a paltry Xbox game? Game of the year talk don't mean shit to me. Usually, game of the year games are never my favorites. I tend to love the games that don't get a lot of attention. Yeah, I could be like that too, Shizno. Hell, I'll do you one better. I like games that people. I've liked some games I generally love that people just fucking hate, and I mean to the point where even now I'll find the occasional comment on, say, a collection video, and I say, "Oh, I love this game," and someone point like, "You like that trash?" Like people have it, you know what I'm saying? People get emotional when you like stuff that they don't. If I was Square Enix, I would price either full price Final Fantasy 16 at full price or price it at $20 just to make bots feel dirty. Why, Eternal Gamer? I really don't think that you understand. If I could get Final Fantasy for $20, I'm not going to feel. Why would I feel dirty for paying $20 for a game? Like they only buy cheap games. I generally don't think even Eternal. I'm starting to think that you generally don't understand how the average consumer works. Even so, like someone on Xbox is like, huh, this game is $20. Oh, Square Enix, why would you? I want to pay Square. I want to pay $70 for this game. Nobody says this. Nobody except for this weird gaming PlayStation bubble who brags about, yeah, I paid $100 for the Last of Us, the Last of Us remake. Only y'all say that stupid shit. Normal people's like, shit, Final Fantasy for $20? Sign me the fuck up, man. Here, take my $20, Square Enix. Hell, $20 is why I even bought Death Stranding. Because that shit was $20, and I let Hebot and E-Rock talk my dumb ass into spending money on that sorry ass fucking game. So $20 is an amazing price point. Hell, $20 is such a great price point that on the OG Xbox, 2K5, NFL 2K5 outsold Madden that year, and a lot of it was due to that $20 price point. That and it was a phenomenal game, but Madden was king of football games at the time. But $20, oh, that motherfucker outsold it on Xbox to the point that we haven't had a competition in the NFL football game since. Always watch the VGA for the game previews and no other reason. Fair enough. I noticed that they're always immediately uploaded on YouTube, so I usually get like a notification to all the gaming channels I subscribe to, Shizno, and that's how I often see this stuff. Game of the Year is just a popularity contest, and almost none of them sell. It's hit or miss. I know that Zelda game won one year, and I think that's the Switch best-selling game. Was that one Zelda game, Breath of the Wild? Just the Game Award. I should watch one. Dude, nobody cares how many Game Awards they won. I promise you that nobody's losing sleep over that, man. So far, my Game of the Year is Split Fiction, but that might change with Wu Chang. Oh, great choice. Great choice. I need to find someone to play Split Fiction with. That game does look phenomenal. Yeah, for me, it's up there with I really like The Vowed, South of Midnight, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Those are probably the ones that I've enjoyed the most so far in this first half of the year. I'm trying. I need to start. I actually bought Final Fantasy 16, so I do want to start that. Because contrary to, so for y'all don't know, I'm the Xbox guy who actually really likes Square Enix games. I realized this some years ago, and I'm going through my collection. I'm like, huh. I have all these Square Enix games, and I generally love this. Even some of them, like what's that one that came out last year? I really enjoyed? Visions of Mana. That I love that game, man. I beat it and everything. I love Visions of Mana. And so I'm actually a big fan of Square Enix, which is why I'm glad that them and Xbox have repaired their little relationship, right? Let me exit that there. I usually love games people hate. Redfall is my favorite game. Oh yeah. Redfall. Yeah, I had a good time with Redfall, but man, I'm not gonna lie. Some of That game was for some reason that game was just whooping my ass too much, man. I don't know why. That game was whooping my ass. Usually, I love to trigger in the Final Fantasy fans by telling them 15 is my favorite. So, is 15 considered a bad version of the in the series? In 100, y'all about already fought 100. Excellent, excellent. He does excellent work. 100 loves Final Fantasy 15, loves it. Saying price at $20 means bots either won't pay or can't pay full price for the games. And again, Eternal, you're not hurting nobody with a comment like that. Look, man, if every game was $20, I'd probably own triple of the games that I own now, and I would gladly pay $20 for games. You know what I'm saying? That and most people would. You go shopping. People buy their clothes on sale. People buy their food on sale. People buy pretty much everything on sale. But for some reason in video games, you PlayStation fans want us to feel guilty for buying games on sale or not paying full price. And it's the dumbest fucking argument in the world. And it's and it's just hilarious. I know you don't like Death Stranding, but I love it. By the way, let me also repeat this. Don't let me or anybody else tell you what to think. All right. That's one of my catchphrases on here. Don't let me or anybody else tell you what to think. So although I hate Death Stranding, if you love it, I'm genuinely happy. Genuinely happy that you love Death Stranding. All right, and any game that I don't like. If you like Nintendo, and I shit on Nintendo more than probably any of the other game YouTubers. You know what I'm saying? Like your Nintendo. Like your PlayStation. Hell, I've been debating with Eternal Gamer most of the show, and he's a PlayStation guy. And I got no beef with the dude. But he said, if you don't like, I know you don't like Death Stranding, but I love it. We all different, and it shouldn't bother if someone don't like what I like, and vice versa. Yeah, exactly. Now they understand exactly how the consumers are. PlayStation fans just have an unhealthy obsession with kissing Sony's ass, even though they continue to treat them like shit. Yeah, man. Listen. It's to the point. Black Mamba. That's the part. I don't even sit here and tell them what to think or what to do or nothing, man. I'm just telling them how I see things. And listen, if they want to continue to kiss Sony's ass and want to pay more for games, do what you got to do. Do it. Knock yourself out. Assassin's Creed Shadows is my game of the year at the moment. Yeah, I love Shadows, man. I like treating bots like a kid with the Velcro wallet. Here, your bot you can have it for $20. I'm not even sure what you're saying at this point, Eternal the Gamer. Are you? You know what I'm saying? You're putting an argument that most people would love. All right. If somebody could get God of War for $20, I promise you, they'd rather spend $20 than $80 on that bullshit. If someone wants to play Spider-Man for $20, listen. If Spider-Man 3 came out and Sony said, "Hey, I'm gonna give you Spider-Man 3 for $20, or you could pay $80." 99.999% will pay $20 except for you, because apparently you like to throw your money at everything without any reasoning or logic to how your finances work. So saying here you can have it for $20, yeah, good. Give me $20 games. Give me $20 AAA games. Right? I don't think in the history of gaming AAA games has ever been $20 unless it was on a deep discount because it's an older game. So you're giving what you're trying to sell me is something that most people would gladly sign up for. And it's not it's not like, haha, I got you bots because you like to spend less on games. You see, you actually do bad because gaming and Game Pass. For the average person, we hear, "Ooh, that's a good deal." Damn, yeah, Eternal, hit me up with that $20 AAA game, homie. I'm down. See, that's why people like Game Pass, because like shit, I got access to like $500 or $20 a month. Cool. And if I wanted to buy it, I can anytime. Perfect. And it's like PlayStation fans. I guess there's something in your brains that that either y'all refuse to believe it or something, to where it's like you generally think that you're spiting us because we're trying to spend, because we're not trying to spend out the ass for every game. Newsflash: if you look at my collection, most of it was bought on sale, used, Why? Because there's no fucking reason to sit here and buy every game day one at full price. And especially when none of us got time to play all these games anyway. You can only play one game at a time. Or even on Game Pass with Quick Resume, the greatest feature no one talks about, and you got a rotation of 6, 7 games. You could only, you still go and just play them set of games, right? I think Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite. Good choice, Coco Fiend. As long as Square Enix don't put games in Game Pass like they're doing, it's cool. I'm confident Square has put games in Game Pass before, but don't quote me on that. I'm gonna have to dig deeper. But my gut tells me Square Enix has had some games on Game Pass before. But hell, and by the way, Square, by the way, Eternal, even if Square puts their games on Game Pass, why do you care? You're not an investor. You're not the owner. You're not the CEO of Square. And if you don't want them to do it, go apply, go up the ranks, become CEO, and you make the decision for Square. Since you don't want it on Game Pass, but if they see if the money's good enough for them, if they see an opportunity and film them say, hey, we'll play you X amount to put every Final Fantasy on Game Pass. That's their prerogative. They got a business to run. They don't got to placate to you. Only PlayStation fans think saving money. Yeah, man. And I don't think they realize how silly they look when they. I don't think they realize how silly they look when they keep trying to use that as an example to shame us. Yeah, yeah. Go to Target and tell the shoppers there, hey, you want to pay $5 for a shirt? Nah, you stupid man. I paid $50, you idiot. Right? Everybody will look at them like a moron. Hey, you paid sticker price for a car. I mean, you paid for less than sticker price of a car. I paid full price, you moron. That's how these guys sound, man. And it's always that's why you can't get mad at them. I can't get mad at Eternal Gamer when he says that shit, man. That goofy shit. You literally care about Xbox gamers' money. You can be better than that. Yeah, man. That's what makes it so funny. Xbox is the only platform that you can play all the mainline Final Fantasy games. Ooh. I'm not sure that's 100% true because I'm pretty sure you can't play Final Fantasy 11 anymore or whatever that. One of them was an MMO from back in the day that I'm confident to shut down. Right. But yeah, you can pretty much play them all now. And that's the BDA Xbox and backwards compatibility and all that jazz. Final Fantasy VIII is great. I love so many of the Final Fantasy games. Unless it going live in 2 days in a row, Pitt's got to be flying somewhere. Yeah, man. Yes. You know how it is, Vontae, man. Sometimes I just got time for all this stuff. Yeah, I'm trying not to disappear for such a long period of time. Final Fantasy 13 or on the PlayStation 3. Eternal the Gamer, we could play Final Fantasy 13 on an Xbox Series X and S. So when he says every mainline, he means on a current console. But since y'all don't have real backward compatibility, you don't know what we're talking about. So go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Final Fantasy 13 looks amazing on the series consoles. That game was ahead of its time. Final Fantasy 13, from the graphic standpoint, looks good. From the gameplay standpoint, especially that first one, which was criticized for just pretty much walking straight in a corridor. When I tried it, I understood the criticism. It does kind of feel like you're just walking straight, and a lot of that. Xbox is the only modern console, but yes, all Final Fantasy games can be played on PlayStation. Yes, but you need multiple PlayStation consoles to play it, and that's not a bragging point. Which is my point. You have to run a PlayStation 3, which we both know Sony doesn't care about backwards compatibility. But saying all Final Fantasy games can be played on a single Xbox doesn't mean much because historically, JRPGs has always sold bad on Xbox. Another fact. Actually, it does mean something because it means that we have features and abilities you can't. You see, here's the thing, Eternal Gamer. Just because even if it hasn't always sold the best on Xbox, that's irrelevant. What is relevant is that if I want to play Final Fantasy 1, I can. If I want to play 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 12, because again, I don't think 11 is still active to play since it was an MMO. 13, I don't need to dig up my old. I don't need to dig up an old PlayStation 3. I don't need to look on eBay to buy a PlayStation 3 or none of that shit. I could just put the disc in my console and start playing. Or if I own it digitally, just hit download and start playing. All right, so yeah, that's and so who cares? You see, if you don't care that if you don't care that people wants to pay less for games because you gladly play $100 for this shit, then I don't care that JRPGs haven't historically sold well on Xbox, despite the fact that I could play all these Japanese games y'all used to tell us was never going to come to Xbox. Yakuza, never going to come to Xbox. Ni no Kuni, never going to come to Xbox. I heard all that shit before for years. Hey, what's up, Gogo Poe? The homie Gogo Poe, man. Always stopping by. He said it means nothing because most Xbox players only care about, say it with me, Halo, Gears, Forza, sports shooters, and multiplayer games. JRPGs has always done bad on Xbox, always. Don't care because I'm not every player. And Coco Fiend's not every player. Shizno Elite's not every player. You see, what you don't understand is that just because the majority does something doesn't mean every single person does, right? And hell, if we look at the best-selling games on PlayStation, it's the same shit for y'all. Y'all best-selling games this year was fucking Forza 2. So you guys so by your logic, you only care about Forza as well. You only care about sports games. I guarantee Madden, FIFA, whatever the soccer game's called now, 2K, those are going to be some of the top 10 selling games on your platform. So y'all y'all in the same shit as every fucking gamer. Gamers are buying the same shit. The casuals are dominating the sales market, and when you look at the top selling games, it's a bunch of the same shit over and over. We look at the best selling games of the year. I think Monster Hunter Wilds, a multi-plat, is the best selling game of the year so far. Shit like NBA and WE and NBA are some of the best selling games of the year. It's the same shit everywhere. So spare me this whole, well, you only care about sports and shit. So do fucking your people. All those games are more popular than JRPGs. Yeah, exactly, Black Mamba. Exactly. But with that said, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you, chat, as always. I love hanging out with you guys. Love talking with you guys. So I want to do something, because it's been a while. It's been a while since I hung out with the crew. Hung out with the chat. And I got nothing but love and respect for all of y'all. Even people like Eternal Gamer. Occasionally, there's a PlayStation guy, Mike Johnson, used to pop up. He used to say a lot of the same stuff Eternal the Gamer does. And that's my homie. He's my homie now too. So I got nothing but love with all you guys. I'm about to wrap it up here and enjoy the rest of my night. You guys enjoy the rest of your night as well. But let me read these last couple comments. Coco Fee say, LL, I'm talking about today. If we're going by that metric, Sony can't make a live service game to save their lives, which is why they are pivoting back to what they know. Now, I can't disagree with you on that, but you're talking about a platform where the games by games don't matter who made them. If Nintendo put Mario on PlayStation, it too would sell millions. Yeah, it'll probably sell better than actual PlayStation games, the same way that Forza Horizon outsold Astrobot. So, all right, yeah, you have a good night too, Adidas Zero. And Coco Cho, hey, Coco Cho, thank you for popping in. Seems like a new face. All right, you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to y'all later, and I am out.